Sometimes I ask myself, what the hell am I even doing? But it's days like today where you get this odd forecast of 79 degrees that you just gotta go out and do something. And for me, that's something is taking the bike out and trying to go kayaking at the same time. Weather like this, it's hard to pass up. I've kind of had an ambition of doing this for a little bit. I'm sure other people do it, but to be able to bike and kayak is going to provide me enough freedom of maneuver to basically not rely on anybody else for any extraction or any kind of movement. I've done upstream, downstream, to cut down on the logistics of having a vehicle. I've done where I've packed it up and walked it back. That's kind of strenuous. But ever since I got this way overbuilt trailer, I think I might as well try and push it to its capacity. So the first thing I have to do before launching is I have to take the boat off and unfold it and then fold it. This is a tuk-tuk kayak. I have one of the earlier models. From what I understand, they have some newer models with better seats. What is it? Yeah, it's a little less than 2 millimeters of polypropylene. But I tell you what, pretty sturdy, at least for what I do. You can't take it out on anything really with waves or rapids. But I've pushed this thing to the limit, and I'll tell you, it'll handle class 1 just fine. But as long as you stick to a river like class A or like just very intermittent rapids, you'll be fine. Like I said, these original seats suck. So they take quite a bit of imagination to put in correctly. Or rather, to put in securely. All right, next thing I got to do is I got to inflate this raft. part's gonna take a while. What do you think? I'm some kind of fucking ignoramus? I don't have the lung capacity for that shit. Brought an air pump. Speaking of ignoramuses, the point of this is that you have trash bags available to you, and then you take the trash with you and replace the bag. This isn't a trash collection point. All right, so that took about 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, the trailer breaks down and the bike folds in half. The bike can break down a little bit easier, but I think this is just, I want to keep it as cohesive as possible. The tarp, it's not to ensure any kind of real waterproofing. It's basically to provide a buffer from anything that might puncture the raft. All right, well, it floats. And so much for them knocking out these dams, because at this boat launch, the first thing you deal with is a slight rapid. And people have capsized on those, so hopefully my boat doesn't turn over. A little capsize test before I go down. Should be all right. We'll see. What I could do is I could just pull it to me and kind of just float through. It's kind of almost like a catamaran. Almost positive I'm going to get wet right off the bat. Not bad. Didn't really get wet. Yep, just good. Spoke too soon. Warmer. Well, can't complain too much for that. Depending on how far I go, that may be as rough as it gets. I don't necessarily consider myself to be full of good advice, but I'll give you a couple of tips of what I've learned over the years. When you're towing a boat, use something that's elastic, good bungee cord, spend the money. If you go to use any kind of like static rope, 550 cord, paracord, whatever, mooring lines, you'll get a tug and it will steal your power over time. When you have something that elongates like a good bungee, it's almost, you hardly even feel it sometimes, but it definitely saves your strength and energy over time. So I'm down by the train yard in Lowville, and I noticed that big ass nest up there. That ain't no squirrel nest. I saw a large bird take off, but I couldn't quite identify if it was an eagle or not. Well, the log jam at this bridge is potentially going to cause an impedance up ahead. With one boat, it wouldn't be that bad to get through. Two, on the other hand, might be a bit of a challenge, especially with sharp logs poking out. I think I can make it though. Just have to take some wide outs. Navigable. Easily navigable. It appears as though I was worried about nothing. I hope you can see it. I know you can hear it. But that there is the CSX Coke Express. And what the Coke Express is all about is picking up a bunch of coal down in like West Virginia and Kentucky, and then trucking it up here and beyond to places like Michigan where they can fire up their electric plants. You never really see this old pump house so pronounced as when it's autumn. And you can see by the trees that, yes, it is indeed fall. But given my manner of dress and aquatic activities, you would think it was summer. I had talked with a few guys about global warming and climate change, and they said that some of the briefs that they got and articles that they've read has absolutely confirmed that our climate here in Northeast Ohio is more akin to what you may see in places like Arkansas. Now, I'm coming out here in October in Northeast Ohio, late October at that. It's damn near 80 degrees, like I said previously, and tonight it's not even going to get below 60, and well, it might get a little below 60, especially down here on the river. And according to the forecast, it's not going to rain until tomorrow evening. Temperature's going to hold, get back up to the mid 70s. I mean, yeah, if that's climate change, I'm not exactly worried. Give me more of this. Shit, I might go home and burn a tire. You know, I gotta admit, I had a lot of fun coming out here on the river. You know, I'm actually geared up and packed where I could do an overnight, maybe two. But yeah, I think I've had enough fun. I'm gonna just truck it on home, because tonight's the 30th and tomorrow's Halloween, and with weather like this, you're almost guaranteed to see girls dressed up like skanks. So I'm gonna go back in town and chase the women around. Everything seemed to make it just fine. Beyond that, yeah, no punctures, no loss of equipment. Bike's ready to roll. Plenty of energy. Wasn't on the river for what? I don't know. I think it took me 4 hours to get here, maybe. Shit, not even 2 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. A little floating boat, take the trail out of town. Not a bad way to spend the afternoon.